Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the tavern. I'm Spencer,
I'm Eli.
and this is Bardic
And we have
Blunders.
Yeah, it's gonna be a banger tonight.
Oh, yeah, it is. Who's ready for a rant? Because I am. I am passionate about something. So, I'll go ahead. I'll put the spoiler warning right here. We're talking about Akame ga Kill. We're gonna start off with it's on the topic board. There will be spoilers. If you have not watched Akame ga Kill and you want to watch it or want to read it, whichever you do, don't watch the stream for like the next 10 minutes. If you're catching this after we're live, skip for a little bit. I don't know if there's a good way to indicate when I'm done ranting, but I'll try and contain it to 10 minutes, but oh boy. So, for anyone who doesn't know, Akame ga Kill is a short anime about a bunch of assassins fighting a corrupt government trying to overthrow it. Simple plot. The big anime power source is, they call them Imperial Arms, which they're just weapons with special powers. We'll break it down easy. All kinds of things, from teleportation to just sets of armor that have special power, like all kinds of crazy stuff. But I started watching this show the other day. I think just last week. I got 6 episodes in. I started watching it again today. Loved it so much, I'm like, I'm binging all of it. So I just watched it. There's 24 episodes. And I hit a certain point, and I was just like, this sucks. The beginning is so good, but the ending falls apart. So I'm like, okay, what's up, cheese? Welcome to a rant. So I'm like, okay, I have to look up and see if other people are pissed off about this ending like I am, because I was hot. So I look it up, and there's a lot of other people that are like, yeah, Akame ga Kill. Cheese. A lot of other people were like, the ending...
Cheese is here?
Yeah, cheese just popped in.
Cheese.
So a lot of other people were like, oh yeah, the ending was unsatisfying. It felt rushed. It felt this and that. I'm like, yeah, exactly. There's all these things. So then I look up the manga ending, because people were like, oh, that one's better. And all these things that I was thinking as I'm watching this, and I'm like, oh, that should have been done that way. Oh, and this should have gone this way. The manga did it that way. So I'm like, it turns out what happened with it is it had like a Game of Thrones kind of thing where the show passed the manga and just kept going and making up whatever they went on with. And oh my gosh, it's bad. And it just infuriated me. So this will be the spoiler heavy part. So if you don't want to hear spoilers, this is your last warning. So
I don't want to hear spoilers.
All right, then leave.
I don't give a shit. Let's be honest, it's anime. I'm not gonna watch it.
I know you don't. But
I want to spoil a whole lot of other stuff later in the episode, so...
But So there is numerous characters that die, that don't die in the manga. Their deaths make no sense. They're pointless. The main freaking character dies in, like, a super anticlimactic moment, and it's just, there is no, like, honoring him or anything, because, like, I can respect a show that kills its main character. I can get, like, there's been shows that do that very well, but it always makes it such an important moment. And in this, the main character's just like, oh, hey, look, he's fighting. Oh, he's dead. All right, moving on. What? He's the main character. You shouldn't just glaze over his death like that. Like, but then they set up, like, little love side plots. And I'm like, I'm not a rom-com kind of guy, but it's like, oh, okay, these two characters are interested in each other. Nope. 5 minutes later, one of them's dead, and the subplot is ruined, and it turns out in the manga, the subplot carries on like it's like, it's just, it irritated me so much. I was so mad about this. But
And can I say something?
yeah,
real
go
quick?
ahead. Go ahead.
I wholeheartedly believe in this statement that any show that has like a hero, any show, any book, any comic series, that kind of thing, that has a hero, at the end of that run of books or comics or series or movie, whatever it is, the main character should die. Heroes should never have a happy ending, in my mind.
See,
Because heroes... this is the thing that I'm going to talk about in a video I'm going to make for my channel, but heroes and villains are opposite sides of the same coin. A hero will sacrifice you to save the world. A villain will sacrifice the world to save you. So, in small scope, hero's a bad guy. Big scope, he's a good guy. Whereas the villain, small scope, really good guy. Big scope, very bad guy. That's just me.
right. But I see there are shows that do things well where it's like the main character survives. He gets out of the story alive. But he carries with him the weight of all the people that died, his friends, his allies, his mentors, like all these different people who were important to him.
Have happy endings.
Yeah, and see, they can have a satisfying ending, living and getting, like, you know what? The hero lives, he gets the girl, but he's got friends that are no longer with him. But he succeeded in his goal. He saved whoever he wanted to save, or whatever capital he wanted to save, whatever he wanted to do. He succeeded in that. And it's like, he can have a peaceful life and a somewhat happy life, but there's still, you know, he's missing his friends. He's missing, you know, stuff like that. Or a character loses their significant other and they have to go on living the rest of their life without them. Like, I don't think the main character has to die.
They should... Okay, let me rephrase that. Main characters should not live happily ever after. Happily ever after should not exist.
See,
for the main character.
And
for the world as a whole, yes. Main character, no. They need to suffer.
I still think there's a difference between happily ever after and a happy ending. Because in the manga of Akame ga Kill, the main character gets a quote-unquote happy ending. The love interest he has, they end up together, but he still lost so many friends along the way. There are a bunch of people dead, and they have to recover from a fallen kingdom and build up from its remains. So it's not like, oh, everybody decided to be friends and everything's hunky-dory, like, you know, all right, we're all good, everything's happy. Like, there's still a sadness to that. But when it's just like, in the anime, everyone dies! Like, most of the main cast just dies! And it's not satisfying either. It's like, oh, hey, look at that. You know, we set up a great little final battle arc right here. Yeah, we've done a good job. Oh, wait, we only have 4 episodes? All right, we better rush it and kill everyone in the last episode. Like, seriously. And some of the deaths just felt so cheap. Like, they could have been avoided with better writing. And like, not even, like, you know what? There are deaths in other shows that it's like, oh, that could have been avoided if the characters did it better, or if they did this different, or whatever. But whenever it's like, oh, that death could have been avoided if it was written better, like, that pisses me off more than anything. Okay, I think the rant is done. Cheese, I will say, watch, if you really want to watch it up to, like, episode 20, and then go read the manga. Because that'll be better. I mean, you can go ahead and watch the last few episodes if you want to be pissed like me, but gosh dang, like, literally one of the characters, it's like they get into a fight, they get hit once, and it's like, oh, they look fine. They sustained worse hits than that throughout the show, and then they just die for plot reasons. Ugh. Okay. That's it. Cut. It's been 10 minutes. I'll if you fast forwarded 10 minutes, this is the save point. No more spoilers when
My
Akame got
turn
killed.
with Game of Thrones.
Yep.
Game of Thrones. I will say this for Game of Thrones. It's the same problem. The directors were rushed in the final season because they were offered a massive contract to leave Game of Thrones and go do Marvel. So the last season sucks. The season before that, actually, there's like 2 seasons of them not having any source material where it's really good. Like, really good. And it's like, man, this is really good. And then they just... It's like watching a football... It's like watching the Falcons play the Patriots. 28-3. Like, the Patriots should be out of the game. There should be no coming back for them at halftime. And they were the writers for Game of Thrones were Atlanta in this scenario. They nosedived that damn show in the final season. They killed off some of the best characters. And then they gave the worst fucking ending ever.
Language.
Sorry.
You're good.
But it's true. It's the worst ending ever.
We're far enough in that it's not gonna... I mean, it's not like it affects monetization anyways. Nobody watched this crap. We only got a few people who watch this. It's not like I'm making money off of this. Don't know why I care.
You can just put a title card in that it's not made for children.
Yeah, that's what I do.
But they nosedived that show. It was like, man, there needs to be a king. And everyone's like, oh, it should be this dude. This dude should be king. And he's like, Jon Snow. And it's like, Jon Snow should be king. And he's like, nah, fam, I want to go back to the wild north. And it's like, why? There's nothing there. And he's like, nah, I already killed 2 of my lovers. So, peace out. And just dips. And they leave a crippled man who can see the future and the past to be the king. Who's broken so many laws of magic it isn't even funny.
Oh boy. Woof. Oh, funny. Just poor endings to shows. Also, sorry, Cheese. He said regret leaving this on speaker, but too late now because he dropped the F-bomb.
Oopsie.
Oh boy.
Sorry, Jesus family.
But yeah, it's just one of those frustrating things that I don't get it, especially as I've been writing my D&D campaigns, and I know that's not the same as writing a story because obviously you guys are involved, so you're gonna change the story. I'm not writing a story really. I'm putting up a framework for you guys to work within. But
I've heard a very interesting description of D&D.
Right. And that's...
The DM is starting a play. but none of the players know their lines, so they're just making it's
improv.
show.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah, exactly. But you still have to make competent characters to make the world believable. So writing on a specific character by character basis is so much more important in D&D than even other things. And yes, you want characters to be good in TV shows and video games and movies and everything, obviously. But with it being so important at D&D, I've had to get better at writing characters and filling in holes in characters. What are they doing? Why are they doing this? What is the logical conclusion to their story? Do they not have a logical conclusion because it's like, maybe this character's made for war and they don't know what to do after war. So I can either have them die in battle, or I can have them live on after it and have to come to grips with living outside of the battlefield. You know, you get so much more precise with your characters because they build the world for your players. So when you see characters get butchered, it just hurts that much more. You're like, I saw the potential, I saw where this is going, and you failed. You just dropped the ball.
This is honestly, this makes me want you. I might just buy you the book, honestly. It's called Kings of the Wild because it goes over that mentality. Like, a character who's no longer in their position. Like, the main character struggles the entire book with, he used to be a very bad person. And he changed. He turned his life around. He got married. He has a kid. He's trying to be a better person. He's done all these great things. And then he gets pulled back into the life he had. And it really messes with him. Like he says in the book, the monster in me didn't die. It was just hibernating, waiting for the moment to come out.
I like
and
that.
It was like, it's like, ooh, because you have these characters that are written to be these fighters, but after the fight's over, what are they gonna do? It's like, this is a call out to Critical Role, actually, with the season 1 with Grog Strongjaw. He was made to fight things. He was made to do nothing but fight. He was useless outside of combat other than being the comic relief character. He had no plans. And Travis Willingham said the perfect line. He went to the city to retire from being an adventurer, and while he was there, he said, I do nothing but wait for the next battle. Because that is all I'm good for.
Right. Well, and
it's like,
go ahead. I'll let you finish your.
It makes me so sad hearing characters like that, because if a fight never comes, they now just wasted their life.
It's a tool without a purpose.
Yeah. When you have a hammer, everything looks like a nail. But when there are no nails, what is there to hammer?
Exactly. But that's one of the things I loved with Akame ga Kill, is because it made clear, like, it blurred the lines of good guys and bad guys. Because when the hero joins the assassin group and he's like, oh yeah, so we're assassins for justice. All of them are like, no kid, don't get it wrong. We kill people. We do a dirty job. And all of us are going to carry with us everyone that we've killed on our backs for the rest of our lives. We don't do a good thing. We're not heroes. We just do what's necessary. But then on the flip side, the bad guys are exactly the same. They're just trying to save people. At least a chunk of them. There's a group of bad guys that are like, we're trying to save people. I joined because I was told this was the right thing to do. They didn't realize they were defending a corrupt empire. Or, like they were doing it to try and save the people of the empire, even if it was corrupt. So it makes this like, oh gosh, is this person really bad? Is this person really good? Like, it does that so well. And that's what disappoints me about the ending to it, because it blurs those lines for the whole show, and then it just like falls apart. But that can kind of carry us into our next topic, which is IPs in other hands, like Akame ga Kill, like Game of Thrones, where the show was done different than the writer.
Like Ruby.
Oh.
Monty did such an amazing job building that universe. And as soon as he passed away, sadly.
Yeah, that...
And as soon as it got handed off, it fell to pieces.
Cheese and IP is... What does it stand for, Eli?
Intellectual properties.
Yes. Basically, think of just about anything. Like, whether it's Marvel or DC or anime, movie, whatever. It's all IPs. So, basically, we're saying when... Another one we'll talk about is Halo. When Halo gets put into the wrong hands, it's like, this guy made Halo, this guy made a Halo thing, and it was bad. Like, that's basically what we're talking about. And Ruby is an incredible one that I could go on another rant. I'm going to avoid that since I was just, like, furious about one anime. I don't need to do that about two in the same stream. But... you're absolutely 100% correct. And I think not just Ruby, but all of Rooster Teeth died with Monty. I think the whole thing came crashing down because Red vs. Blue's writing took a hit when he died.
Yeah, honestly, a whole lot. Well, that was also around the time they got bought out, too.
Yes.
Which is the other big thing that happened to them. They got bought out by... Warner Brothers, I believe. Warner Brothers,
yep.
And it kind of killed all of Rooster Teeth, because before then you had like 10 Little Roosters. You had 10 Little Roosters, by the way, is probably my favorite online show ever done.
That was
done beautifully.
So good, and it was done by just a group of people. I love those kind of things so much, where it's just a group of people. Like, not any high-level production or anything, and they just make an incredible story. Like, there's other instances. There's plenty of YouTube shows that you can look up. I can't think of any of them off the top of my head. But, like, I have watched Minecraft roleplays with better stories than, like, some big-budget TV shows. 10 Little Roosters, Cheese. I don't know if you've ever heard of Rooster Teeth. I know you're a tad bit younger than us, so it was big when we were in high school. So like 2013 to 2017. I mean, it was big a little bit before that and afterwards. So 10 Little Roosters is a show by Rooster Teeth that was like...
It wasn't even that big before us, is the scary part.
Well,
it really came into form in like 2012.
Yeah.
When we were in middle school.
Middle school is... That's what I meant, like, before us being in high school. It's like, when we were in middle school is when it started picking up. But 10 Little Roosters is a show Rooster Teeth did, all the way back in 2014 now? It was,
Give me a second.
it
I will
was-
actually look
it's
that
been a
up.
while, but and it's a murder mystery. And the 10 little roosters are the 10 characters in the show, and it's roosters because of Rooster Teeth. But so it's like, I think it's only
2014.
2014. Oh my gosh, I nailed that on the head. Cool. But it's only like 10 episodes, 10 or 11 episodes, right?
No, it's 8 episodes.
It's 8 episodes. Okay. So, yeah, 8 episodes. They're not very long. I'd suggest go watching it, but it is like picture perfect murder mystery. It's so good. And everyone just plays themselves. Like they're not even playing characters. Like they might exaggerate pieces of themselves a little bit, but they're just acting like they're in the office with each other. And oh man, that was so good. And then they did 11 Little Roosters, and it really wasn't.
Yeah, that was after their buyout, I believe. Let's
Yeah.
see here. 11 Little
2016?
Roosters. 2017.
Damn it. I thought I was going to get it.
January 6th. Well, to be fair, it's the first episode came out January 16th.
So it was very beginning of 2017. Okay.
Yeah. And it wasn't the same.
No. And it didn't help that it's like they weren't just themselves in an office anymore. They had actual characters that they were trying to play. So, and not every one of those people were really good actors. So, but yeah, Rooster Teeth had a lot of good properties that just kind of collapsed, but that's really, aside from Ruby, which Ruby was still good when it was Miles and Carrie running it, because they worked with Monty when Ruby started, so they kind of knew what he wanted to do. But then when they left, it fell apart.
Yeah, Rooster Teeth got bought out in 2014.
So okay, it was 2014. So that was even before Monty died.
Yeah, it was the very end of it was November 10th, 2014.
Okay.
But they had all of their, because they were just bought out by Full Screen at that time, which gave them extra production money, and then Full Screen got bought out
by Warner Brothers. I was thinking that's how it went. What's up, group? Yeah, I was thinking that's how it went. That they got bought by somebody else, and then somebody bought that company. I was talking about it like it was the war. I was upset with the way Rooster Teeth fell apart. You missed my rant earlier, group. That was much worse.
Full Screen was bought out in 2018.
Okay, so it wasn't until 2018 that Warner Brothers stepped in, which is around the time that I felt their quality declined.
Yeah.
That was around when it just kind of fell apart, you know? But Ruby is the perfect is another perfect example with Ruby, Game of Thrones, Akame ga Kill. We're talking about Halo a bunch, so let's go into Halo and about how 343 has dealt with it. Dude, I don't know if you were there when I beat Halo 4 yesterday. I legitimately laughed out loud at the 343 statement at the end of it.
Oh, really? I had to get off because my phone died on me.
Oh, okay. It was
in the middle of work, so I was like, this is great.
It popped up and it's like, thank you so much for entrusting this property with us, and I burst out laughing. I'm like, oh man, I can't wait to see what great things they do in the future. Oh no. No great things. No great things in the future. Oh boy. But
I will say this. 343 has done an amazing job with Halo multiplayer.
Halo multiplayer has been good, and I will say
if Halo Infinite launched the way it is now, nobody would be talking shit about
It,
language crap about it.
it wouldn't be as bad, yes. I still think there would be some criticisms. What I like about Halo Infinite is something nobody talks about, and except there's a YouTuber that I catch quite a bit who's a Halo content creator named Frog Archist, I believe.
Yes, I know him. I know him.
I love his content. He's so good. If you like Halo, go watch him. But he was talking.
You know what's really funny?
What?
Even funnier. I used to play with him.
Really?
Back in Halo 3, Halo Reach era.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. Because I just remember that gamer tag burned in my head. He used to do a whole bunch of custom game content. And I was one of the guys who was just always on during that time. And so I would always be, he would do like late night. I think he's in like Carolina, I believe. South Carolina. So we're on the same time zone. So I would be up playing and he'd be like, yo, you want to jump in? I'd be like, yeah.
That's really funny. He did a video where he replayed Infinite. I think it was last year, but a few years after launch, and he's like, unlike Halo 4 and Halo 5, this felt like a progression on the original Halos rather than a revamp. And it went back to the old Master Chief armor, which I will say, the Master Chief in Halo 4 is hideous. Like, it is not good in the slightest. But they went back to that. They went back to the OG Master Chief. They changed up the gameplay in a way that felt like Halo. But what they didn't do right with the campaign was everything was in the same terrain. In the first Halo, you were on the Halo ring for the whole game, just about. Aside from a couple levels on spaceships, you were on the Halo ring. But you fought in different environments. You fought in the canyons in Halo. You fought in the like desert area in the next mission in Truth and Reconciliation. You fought on the beach in the Silent Cartographer, and then there was snowy areas and swamps. Like it changed up. It was varied. But in Halo Infinite, it's all just the same grass area, and all the Banished areas are the same, and all the Forerunner areas are the same,
Yeah.
Which I can understand. That absolutely is a reasonable criticism of Infinite. But I still think I liked Infinite better than 4. 343's gotten a little bit better with it, but oh man. I haven't played 5. I probably won't get to because I don't have an Xbox.
Right.
But
I mean, I'm staring at 2 Xboxes right now. I could bring you an Xbox.
That's fair.
And give me a second, because I might have a disc copy of Halo 5 sitting around.
If you want to play good popular shooter IPs, you got to go back in time. Yeah, that's true. And that's what I've done. I've gone back and played the original Doom and Quake. Like, those are a lot of fun if you've never played them before. I need to go back and play, like, Doom 2016, because that's still one I've never played. See, yeah, even Overwatch, I haven't enjoyed Overwatch 2 because it's very, very microtransaction heavy, and I know that's most of gaming nowadays, but
yeah, that's most of everything nowadays.
If Overwatch didn't have all the microtransactions, I think I would have enjoyed it a lot more. And I mean, the Overwatch 2 was just in a bad spot. Yeah, I only got to play the OG Overwatch once because I was at a friend's house. I didn't pay for it because I didn't. But I do
probably
know...
actually open the chat so I can kind of see what's going on.
Okay. I do know people liked the OG Overwatch better because of the 6-man team instead of the 5-man team. Yeah, you don't need the microtransactions. It's just they're shoved in your face so often. Um, but I know a lot of people were upset because the 6-man team allowed you to go 2-2-2. Two tanks, two healers, two assault. And when you cut it down to 5, it kind of made the tank a useless position, and then tanks weren't as tanky as they were in Overwatch 1, so it didn't really matter playing a tank. You just walk out and die anyways. So, you know, Overwatch 2 wasn't the worst, but it is not great. The lack of incentive to keep it. Yeah, that too. Absolutely. I would play a couple of games and then I'd just be like, why am I playing this game? It's kind of like League in that I'm like, I might have fun for 5 minutes and then it's like, why am I doing this? Like, there doesn't feel like an incentive. Even in Infinite, for crap's sake, feels better than Overwatch. Like, I'd rather go play matches of Infinite than Overwatch or League.
I I will say this. Halo Infinite is actually a lot of fun. When you step away from the whole like, okay, or 343 sucks, microtransactions suck. If you just look at it and like, this is just a shooter game, it's a lot of fun.
Right. Yeah, see, group, that is exactly my problem, and it's why I don't play a lot of multiplayer games like that, like League or Overwatch anymore. Because I'm not good myself, so I get matched up in a game with a bunch of people who are way better than me, and then people start tearing into me because I'm bad. I'm like, well, yeah, I've been playing the game for 3 days. You've been playing the game for 4 years. Like, of course you're going to be better. Or, I'm decent at the game. I get paired with people who are way lower than me, and it seems like the enemy team is really good. Or, like, but then it's just like, I don't have fun playing those kind of games. See, and we were playing Overwatch 2 for a while. We had a 4-man group where it was just like we had one person, and I still really didn't have a lot of fun with Overwatch 2 most of the time. Like, it wasn't bad, it was just
It was sweaty.
It was very sweaty. And that's the thing too, like when I want to chill and play a game for a little bit, like I don't want to get into a lobby with people being like, well, actually, you're trash at the game because you didn't do blah, 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 blah. Like, okay, yeah, sure, I'm trash at the game. Dude, I just got off of an 8-hour shift at work and I'm just trying to chill. Like, calm down. It's not that big a deal. It's just a game. But the other issue I have with games like Overwatch and League, where it's character-based shooters, is you can have a lot of fun with a character. Like League of Legends, I had so much fun playing Tristana. Like oh man, like I just enjoyed playing her so much. Same with Aphelios. They nerf both of them into the dirt, and it's like, well, I can't play them anymore because they're legitimately unplayable. And so it's like, well, I find no value in the game because the characters I enjoy playing suck. It's not just oh, well, now you have to be better to use them. It's like Aphelios for a while. You would pick Aphelios and people would legitimately be like, what are you doing? Like, he sucks. He's terrible.
Yeah. That's one of those reasons why I never cared when I played League. That's why I would take the weird random top laners, because it's like, who cares? I'm on an island. No one's gonna come up here and help me, so I might as well just have fun.
Right. And that's what I tried to do in League, except I made the choice to play ADC when I have to rely on somebody else in my lane. So if I do anything that even slightly irks them, they just abandon me and they go do other things. Like, freaking irritating. That's more irritating than the enemy team being like that. So I don't play Black Ops 4. I love shotgun running, gunplay, shotguns in that game. 3 shots to kill for a shotgun is unbelievable.
Like, here's the thing. Like, Halo Infinite, the Bulldog, if you're good with the Bulldog, you're nasty.
Yeah, Bulldog is a 2-shot. Or
Yeah.
melee Bulldog. Death.
But the problem is I hate the Bulldog compared to the old shotgun.
Oh, yeah. Dude, when we played
cannot
MCC
use Bulldog.
multiplayer, when we played MCC multiplayer and we got in that mode where it was like only shotguns, that was so much fun because it was just like point it in that direction and shoot and somebody's gonna die.
Yeah, I actually Friday I'm doing MCC multiplayer if you want to pop in for a bit.
I won't be able to. I'll be camping.
Oh, fair enough. What?
Camping with the nephew.
Oh, okay.
His first time camping. Yes, I have a nephew. I have other things. But
hold on 1 second. I might throw a fit.
Oh no. What's up?
No, they were like, sorry, somebody was like, "Oh, Eli will go and do this tomorrow." I'm like, no, I won't. I am not touching that food truck again.
Oh boy. That's fun. But, you know, we want to talk about IPs getting into other people's hands. I put this on the topic board just because it's a small note I wanted to talk about. How about the Halo TV show? I don't know if you saw the statement that the actor for Master Chief made, but it's possibly one of the dumbest statements ever made in the history of television and movies.
I sent it to you. I sent that to you.
Did you send that to me? Because I swear, you sending it to me was not the first thing I heard about. First time I heard about it.
Okay, I want you to go to your messages.
I'm in them.
Scroll up.
Okay.
Sunday at 5 o'clock.
Sunday at 5. Sunday at 5. Oh, yeah, you did send that to me. I forgot to tell you, I'd already seen that exact post before you sent it to me.
I almost just tried to flip my desk that has all of my stuff on it. Which would have been hysterical because I also can't lift this desk because it is super heavy.
That would have been really funny. But for anybody who didn't see this, the actor for Master Chief, legitimately, this is a real statement from him. You're not, on why he takes his helmet off so much in the show. You're not going to be able to bring an audience along in a long-form story without having access to a character's face, which tells you what they're feeling, how they think about everything. That access to a character's emotional life over the course of time is what makes you empathize and connect with a character. That is bullshit. Okay. But seriously, that is quite possibly the dumbest statement any actor has ever made. What are you talking about? There's a whole collection of games about the exact character you're playing doing just that, conveying emotion without his face. Bring up The Mandalorian. Bring up, oh gosh, there were so many examples I was thinking of. Boba Fett. Like,
Doom Guy.
So many characters never show their face and still bring Darth Vader. That's the big one. Oh my gosh, the moment at the end of Return of the Jedi when Darth Vader says, "It's too late for me, son." Try and tell me there's no emotion there. Like, it is literally the most brain dead moron take I think I've ever heard when it comes to acting. Like, oh, you need to see their face if you want to see emotion. Hey, you want to know proof of being able to display emotion without seeing your face? People are hearing how... what's the word I'm looking for? People...
frustrated, angry...
Frustrated, yeah. They're hearing the passion in my voice talking about that. Like, go back to the beginning of the episode. You can pretty well tell what my emotion was on a copycat kill, and you can't see my face. So, if I can do it, some dumbass in his room talking about nerd stuff on a podcast, a professional actor had better be able to do it. Like, seriously.
Yeah.
Hollow Knight. Yeah, like, there's so many examples that you could bring up of a character. It's like, you can't see their face, but there's still emotion. Oh. I've been hot this whole episode. I've just been going off. Oh, jeez. But I was like, and I mean, heck, like the meme that you sent me and then I saw, Rooster Teeth. We were just talking about him earlier. 5 guys in a closet that was turned into a recording booth by just taking out the shelves and putting up soundproofing, made a show with interesting characters in Halo where you couldn't see their faces. Just 5 college dudes, like a little bit older than college. They were in their 30s, I believe, but still. Like, just a mind-blowing statement. If you can't tell, I'm passionate about this. Jeez. Whew. All right. Well, that's the end of my ranting, hopefully, for this episode.
Okay. Red vs. Blue came out in 2003.
Yep. 20 years. 20 years before the Halo show. 20 years.
Barney was 30 years old. Gus was 25 years old. Jeff was 28. They were our age, by the way. They were pretty much our age, our friend group's age.
Little bit older. Yeah, just 5 years older.
Well, if you average out our friend group, we're actually a little bit older than you and me.
Yes. But still, they managed to do that. In 2003, way less budget. Way worse technology.
What do you mean, way less budget? They had no budget.
Exactly. The Halo TV show has like a massive budget. But they managed to do much better on no budget. Like, good grief.
Yeah,
and this is too. Just real quick for me. This is someone who I did not play a Halo game until 2017, and I played Reach, and I didn't touch any of the rest of the Halo series. I played a little bit of 4, and I dropped it. And it wasn't until last year that I played 1, 2, 3, ODST. I finished 4. And then Infinite when it came out. But those were the only experiences I had with Halo until last year. I'm very new to Halo, and Halo is really interesting to me. I really liked the story it told, especially 1 through 3, Reach, and ODST. 4 was a little weird on the story. I didn't. But,
So this is the thing I have to say. Four's story, I believe, is one of the better stories. People are going to give me a lot of crap for this, but I really liked 4's story. Halo 4 came out when?
2011, I think.
2012. You were really close.
Gosh dang. I'm missing these by
remember
just a hair.
I went to the midnight launch to get the game. I got the game at midnight, and I skipped school the next day and sat there and played the entire campaign. And by far, I enjoyed the story. I was a kid. So what, that's 12 years ago, so I was 13.
Thank you, Cheese. He says, I do respect your opinion, but Halo 4 shouldn't have been made.
The end of Halo... Okay, the story throughout it, okay, whatever. The Forerunners, okay, whatever. The end of it broke me as a person. Because those were characters I grew up on.
Yeah, and I got the emotion with Cortana and, you know, the rampancy and everything. There was a couple of... My biggest issues that I had with it was some of the dialogue, for one. The didact sucked. Like, I do not like the didact. He shows up twice. He doesn't really make sense as a villain, you know. The QTE is dumb, but
can I say one thing? Because you don't actually defeat the didact. You played the game. You see that. You don't defeat the didact. He gets teleported away.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
The way Master Chief finishes the didact in the comic books is hysterical.
Oh boy.
This is one of my favorite scenes of the Master Chief ever. The Master Chief walks in... So, the didact has made a Halo ring, and he's like, I'm just going to go destroy Earth. Master Chief gets there just before he launches the Halo ring. It's right above the Ark. And they're sitting there talking. And, like, he walks in, and... the didact's like, oh, you're not here to fight me? And Master Chief's like, nah, not really. And the didact's like, well, you're gonna watch Earth die, because you can't defeat me. And he's like, Master Chief's like, I don't plan on beating you, but you'll also never see Earth again. And the didact's like, what do you mean? As Master Chief walks over to the wall and grabs it, and the didact looks at him, as that section of the Halo ring gets launched into a planet and like creates a giant crater, and Master Chief walks out of it, brushing the dust off of him, going, "Fool."
That's kind of funny, but I liked some of the guns Halo 4 had, like. I didn't mind the light rifle.
Something to you. The gun that you love the most, the suppressor, is the worst gun in that game.
Really?
It is by far the worst gun in that game.
I don't know. I used it to decent effect on the knights.
You picked up the scatter shot and were like, this sucks. That's one of the best guns in the game.
See, the scatter shot, I absolutely, later on, I used it, and I was like, okay. The problem I had with it in the moment was I was surrounded by the dogs, and it was not doing well against an army of dogs. I walk out and I
It one
die
shots
before.
the dogs.
Yeah, I'm aware, but so does the light rifle, and so does the BR and the Covenant carbine. Like, all you need to do is pop them with a headshot, which that's what I was having the most success with. The Magnum did the same thing. Like,
1 second. 1 second.
you just one tap them with a headshot, and that's the best way I had dealing with them. I really liked the binary rifle. That was fun to use. The bolt shot sucked ass. I refused to use that gun.
I missed all of that because James just walked into my room.
Oh, fair enough. I said I love the binary rifle. The binary rifle was a lot of fun to use. I hated the bolt shot. Like, I refused to use it.
By far the best pistol in that game.
I didn't like it, man. It was...
I know everyone hated that gun, but if you actually practiced with it, it was by far amazing.
But,
like, you would... multiplayer, you just ate people alive with that.
See, well, multiplayer's different, because it's like...
Yeah. Halo 5, the bolt shot is way better.
Cool.
Like, it tracks. It's like, crap. Remember, Titanfall? The auto-tracking pistol?
I never played the original Titanfall.
Did you play Titanfall 2?
Nope.
Well, they have a pistol. It's called the Smart Pistol, where you don't even have to aim. It just locks onto targets, and you pull the trigger, and the bullets go to them.
Okay. So it's like the Needler.
It's like the Needler, but better.
Okay.
Because it's a 3-round burst, and it 2-shots people.
Don't bring Halo 5 into this. Well, geez, unfortunately, we're going to have to, because we're going to be ranking the Halo games here in a minute. Yeah, and then the vehicle sections. Oh my gosh, that mammoth level was so long. It was so long and slow. And then you had the flying the Pelican, which was not great. And then you had the flying the other one, which was not great. But we could talk some more about Halo 4 with the Halo game tier list, which I'll pop onto screen now. This has all of the Halo games. Every single one of them. So, we got Halo Wars, we got Spartan Assault. I never played Spartan Assault or Halo Wars, so I can't tell you about those ones. But, we got them on here, so... So we got S plus, S, A, B, C, D, F, and this game shouldn't exist, which we can just go ahead and put that one in this game shouldn't exist.
Well, which one did you put in there? Your stream's a little bit behind for me.
Halo 5. Hey, just pop it right in there.
So can I be honest with you? We need to do this twice. Because we need to do multiplayer versus campaign, if that makes sense.
Okay, I'll allow that. I'll allow multiplayer versus campaign. Let's do campaign first.
So yes, because that's the one you put Master Chief Collection in F. Because we already have those games. It was just a money scheme. Because there's no special campaign there.
It was just a re-releasing of all the games, but I would argue it did do well by bringing them to PC. So it expanded the audience. So at least bump it up a little bit. And with the shutting down of all the other Halo multiplayer, I know we're talking about multiplayer separately, but I still think there are things Halo MCC does well just for being essentially just re-releasing the Halo games. So I'd say put it in D at least.
Okay.
Because it's the only reason I gotta play any of the Halo games.
Fair enough.
I don't know what this one is. It says
Hey, your stream's behind, dude. Can you share your screen into Discord so I can actually see what's going on?
Yes, that might lag the stream a little bit. I don't know. But
well, your stream's already like 10 sec. Oh, ding. Watch stream.
So,
which game did you grab?
The first one, this one right here, that says Atari at the top. What on earth is that? I don't know what that one is.
So let's start at the beginning. Halo, the video game.
Okay.
Was not CE. Halo, the video game, was not made for Xbox. Halo, the video game, was made for Macintosh computers.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. Yes.
Yeah, that's the game.
That's what this is. Okay.
Yes.
All right. I was confused on that one.
Because Atari, this is a really complicated showdown. Atari was the gaming stuff for the Macintosh computer, as we call them MacBooks now. However, Microsoft bought Bungie, and thus CE was made, because Halo 2600 is a RTS game, which, like Halo Wars, but it's like super old school, like StarCraft.
Okay.
So, it should probably go in this game shouldn't exist, because it never officially launched. But if you opened up the back code into Halo CE, you could actually play it.
That's not what this is. This is different.
It isn't?
Halo 2600 is a 2010 action-adventure game developed by Ed Fries and published by Atari Age for the Atari 2600, a video game console released in 1977 that ended production in 92. Inspired by the Halo video game series, the game sees players control Master Chief and fight through 64 screens with varied enemies. Completing the game once unlocks a tougher, legendary mode. Halo 2600 was written by Ed Fries, former vice president of game publishing at Microsoft, who was involved in Microsoft's acquisition of Halo developers Bungie. Fries enjoyed the creative problems involved with creating a game with extreme technical constraints. Upon release, the game was generally well received and selected for inclusion in a Smithsonian American Art Museum exhibit. So it is legitimately somebody made Halo for the Atari 2600.
Oh, that's okay. That's dope then. Oh, that should go in S tier.
I can't judge that because I haven't played it.
Neither
it's
can I.
really cool. I will put it in B at the very least, just as a like baseline. Okay, that's pretty cool. But I can't really judge it because I never played it. Here's the big one. I'm gonna.
Halo's
So, this is where I'd put it.
S. Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So,
no argument. No argument.
I really enjoy this Halo, but if you go back and watch me play it, the second half irritated me quite a bit with some of the FLUDD, especially the rocket form. Like,
I'm starting my live stream of that Saturday.
Okay.
On Lasso.
I will love to see you do that because I hated Two Betrayals because of the rocket FLUDD, and I know I was playing on normal, and I know when you go on legendary, they start showing up in the library. Uh, that just seems like a nightmare to me. It really does. And that's, I think it's got the mystery with it, especially for me. Like, I knew about the flood, but I didn't know when they were going to show up. And playing through that game for the first time last year, this is like not even a year ago at this point. It was probably in July or September, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Um, when you're walking through the swamp and you see the carrier forms, not carrier, uh,
Infection form.
infection is the
Little guy. Then it would.
the little guys.
I don't know.
What's the soldiers?
I I have no clue. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I don't combat form. That's what they're called. When the combat forms just like run by on the cliff, or through the mist, like great setup, and then the like, oh, there's a bunch of Marines that are dead, and the one Marine caps himself, and you see the film of Keyes and Johnson and the team of Marines getting assaulted. It's pretty, like, it's legitimately, there's not a lot of levels in shooter games that are like a horror game. Like, it disturbs you. You're like on edge for the entire level, and that is the best thing Combat Evolved did. I know there's so many other great things that it did that changed the gaming industry, but that was the best part of the game to me. Was just how unsettling the flood were. And I enjoyed the library playing through it on normal. I would not have enjoyed it if there were like the rocket forms. Those just pissed me off. But the like watching them stream over obstacles and just come at you. Oh man. That legitimately makes Halo Combat Evolved.
Yes, absolutely. It was a fun game, and then that made it terrifying. Also have to remember, I played this game when I was
like 6.
Younger.
Yeah. I could not have, dude. I would have been scared out of my freaking mind. I would have been so unbelievably scared playing this. Like, I was not brave as a kid. This would have scared the crap out of me.
It scared me too, but I braved through it, and it's kind of made me who I am today.
Yeah, what's the meme that it's like when you play through the library at 7 years old? It's like, hey man, you okay? Nah, I'm pretty freaking far from okay.
The next one I have an amazing story for.
So, oh yeah, is it Fireteam Raven? Is that what this one's called?
Yes.
I'll put this in C. I got a little bit through it, but not bad.
I would rate it the same, but I have the funniest story with this.
I know what your story is. Go ahead and tell it.
This first came out. I don't even remember when it came out. Like, it's like 2020, I believe. Or no, it was before COVID. So like 2018.
You can't mention. I don't know if YouTube still does it, but they don't like you mentioning that certain sickness.
Oh, oopsie.
Yeah, I don't know. They didn't like you mentioning it back when it was happening. I don't know how they feel about it now, but I still refer to it as the Backstreet Boys reunion tour. Off of what Game Grumps call it.
2018. Me and my dad went to our local Dave & Buster's. By the way, me and him put a weird number of money in, and took over this machine. We told everyone else to go away. We did not want to see anybody else. And we sat there and played through the entire thing. Me and my father.
Yep.
And It's fun, but it really makes you go, man, other Halo games are better.
And that's exactly, I didn't get past the first level when I played it because I was just at
But
Dave
we
and
played the
Buster's.
entire thing.
Um,
Non-stop. We just went. We didn't even stop for food. We just played the entire thing.
See, that
And there were
at
like
least
kids
sounds like a
lined up
fun
to play it.
experience.
There were kids lined up to play it, and we had staff coming up to us and asking us to get off the game, and we told them to go away. We're paying money for this.
See, that sounds like a fun time. Sitting there with somebody and jamming all of it out. I would rank the game higher based off of an experience like that. Cause I mean, there's some bad I've played some bad games, but when I played them with friends, it's like, oh man, this game has to go in the S tier because it was just like incredibly fun to play, even though the game sucked.
Totally reliable delivery service.
Oh my gosh, that game is so much fun, but it's so stupid.
It has to be played with friends.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
no other way of doing it.
100%. Okay, this one I'm gonna ruffle some feathers.
I'm okay with that.
Story-wise,
I don't mind that.
I really enjoyed the weapon. I thought it was a good difference from Cortana because Cortana's very like, you know, she's got that sarcasm like be careful, there's two of us in here now, you know, all the little quips she has. The weapon is so childlike. And it changes the dynamic of Cortana and Chief from like a almost awkward love kind of situation to like a father-daughter, you know, and I like the way it changed it. But my main thing with the story for Infinite was I did enjoy the open world. I loved the grappling hook. A lot of the vehicles were really fun to use.
I have one problem with Halo Infinite.
Special hit missions, those were a lot of fun. What is your problem with it?
The pilot.
Yep. I knew.
That is my only problem with Halo Infinite. If you had kept Sergeant Johnson alive from Halo 3, and he was the pilot going through with you, it would have made the game a million times better.
But at the same time, I think you needed a different kind of character from Sergeant Johnson. Not saying the pilot was the right character.
Right.
We've had this discussion before.
I agree.
We've had this discussion before about how the pilot could have been good. Like, I didn't hate the idea of him being like, well, what am I supposed to do? I'm just one guy, you know. But if he had that kind of moment where, you know, his resolve is tested, he's like, you know what? Yeah, I am just one guy, but the Master Chief is just one guy. I might not be him, but I can still make a difference. If they had something like that, it would have made him a better character. I think the concept for the pilot wasn't bad. I don't think the character arc was played out correctly.
Exactly.
But other than that, I enjoyed Infinite. I enjoyed my time with it.
I actually
Next.
really like the boss fights.
The boss fights are a lot of fun. I enjoy those. And that's something Frog Archist said he hates. He hated those. I was like, I really enjoyed the boss fights. Most of them. The thing I liked about the boss fights is you were kind of open. Like the one dude that you fight in the mining, I think it was a mining thing. It's been years, a couple years since I played it now. But he's got the gravity hammer and you fight him inside the...
Yes. That one was rough. I did not care for that one. But like the invisible elite in the tower, that was
cool.
That was dope. And like you have to use the threat sensor to actually do anything.
Right. See, I'll tell you why I enjoyed that one brute. It's because after I died to him once and I knew where he was gonna spawn in, I grabbed a bunch of the coils and everything piled them all right where he comes in. Then as soon as he spawned in, just blew it all up and nuked him. And that's what I liked about the bosses. Because there were bosses in Halo 2. Go ahead.
My problem is when I played Halo Infinite the first time through, I did not use anything other than the battle rifle and the plasma pistol. That's all I used the entire game.
Oh, okay.
Because I was like, I don't understand any of these new weapons. I'm not going to use them. Special weapons, don't care. I'm using my trusty battle rifle, and I'm using a plasma pistol because it eats shields, and I can just dome everyone. Which really set me up for failure.
Yeah.
It made me look bad playing Halo.
That was one of my favorite parts, is trying out. But, I mean, I'm an open world game kind of guy, too. So, but one of my favorite things was going and taking out the targets and getting new weapons and getting to try them out. But,
no joke, the first time I did that was the Elite with the energy sword. I picked up the energy sword, I swung it once and said, this is a dumb energy sword, and dropped it and never used it again.
Oh, that's funny. All right, next up is Spartan Strike. Haven't
Never played
it.
it.
Haven't played it. Well, you know what? How do I add a row below? Never played. Boop. Spartan Assault.
Drop it in there as well.
Cool. Halo Wars. You know what? We'll do Halo Wars 1 first.
I
haven't played it, so
it should definitely go in A tier.
Okay. I want to play it. I will stream Halo Wars, probably both of them at some point. But yeah, I can't really speak on it right now. Halo 2 or Halo Wars 2.
It's gonna go in S tier.
Okay. All right.
And you will completely understand why when you play it.
Okay. Well, if you want to understand those rankings eventually when I play those games, you can tune in with me.
I'll go a brief thing. Sorry, I keep getting messages from work and I'm really annoyed. But brief thing, Halo Wars, it was clunky and it didn't function the way RTS games are supposed to because it was made for a controller.
Okay.
Halo Wars 2 refined every problem with Halo Wars and gave you the best villain ever. That is where they introduce Atriox.
Yep, okay.
Yep. And it makes you feel... If you just go and watch the cutscenes of it, it's better than most movies out now.
Okay. All right, well, I'll just go ahead and... Oh, okay. Tier maker. I'll just go ahead and...
Yep.
Drop
Don't you dare put it...
both of these in here. Personally, if it was me, it's Reach ahead of ODST, but...
I can accept that.
Eli is ODST ahead of Reach. So we'll start...
I would accept it right here.
Okay. All right. We'll talk about ODST first. I'll start before the man who loves ODST. Like, I thought it was a really good game, but...
I have it scarred into my skin.
Yes. So, I really enjoyed the change-up of playing as an ODST as compared to a Spartan. Especially with the subtle things like, you can't dual-wield weapons like you can in some of the other Halo games. You can't, you're not just marching out into combat, even on the higher difficulties. Like, because in Reach, if you watch me play Reach, I played on Heroic. Not Legendary, but still. There was numerous times where I just walk out into the open. And I survive. I played normal, ODST on normal, and most of the time I was having to play it almost like a cover shooter. Because it was like, if you're not careful, you're dead in seconds. Even on the lower difficulties. Because you're an ODST, you're not a Spartan. You have to play it differently. And then popping between all the different characters was so interesting. Like, I really enjoyed ODST. All right. It's your turn.
ODST goes into my top 5 games ever made. It's probably sitting at number 2.
Behind?
And it is the Borderlands 2.
Oh, okay. All right.
I will admit I enjoyed Borderlands 2 more than I enjoyed Halo 3 ODST.
That's fair. That's fair. But
I did not play it as much as you. But that's a different topic altogether.
right.
Halo 3 ODST did something that none of the other Halo games have even tried to do. It took you out of the shoes of a Spartan, and it put you into the shoes of an everyday Marine. Pretty much. ODSTs are still bad MFers, but they are not Spartans. They die. And not only do they die in droves. Any of the other Halo media, ODSTs are like squishy. Like, they're just rolled over by grunts. ODST, that game was perfect because it was a noir game in something you had never seen before.
I have
Like,
noticed you, Cheese. And you, group. Sorry to interrupt.
What-
They're
what
just
are-
talking about us.
What are they saying?
Borderlands is really too cheese. I would recommend going back and playing it. Anyways, continue, Eli.
ODST didn't really change the game market, let's be honest, because everyone hated that game when it came out. There was no love for it. But now everyone goes back and plays it and it's like, this is one of the best games ever made. I saw, no joke, today I saw somebody post a video and said, it did put Halo Reach as the best Halo game ever made. And they said close behind it is Halo 3 ODST. And I was like, I accept. Because it doesn't have the depth of story that the other games have. That's the biggest detractor from it. And it doesn't have a multiplayer, which would have been an amazing multiplayer if they had done a multiplayer.
Oh, that would have been a very interesting multiplayer to experience. But now it's time for me to gush about my favorite Halo game. Reach was the first Halo game I played. I bought it. Reach shows the fragility of Spartans. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I got it from a garage sale alongside the collector's edition from 4. My dad found it while I was at school, and he was like, hey, I bought these for $7. I don't know if you like Halo, but I figured I'd grab them for you. I'm like, okay, cool. I tried to play through 4. I got part of the way through it, and I stopped. I'm like, if this is what Halo is, it sucks. I'm like, you know what? I'll play Reach. I'll try it. And like you said, Cheese, Reach made me cry. I was crying at the end of the game. Oh my gosh. And it's like George dying, and of course you have me with no prior knowledge of the Halo games, that I'm just like, oh, okay, I love all of Noble Team. These guys are pretty cool. And then George dies. I'm like, oh, well, dang, he was my favorite one. He was so cool. Like, just a genuinely good-hearted guy. He wants to save Reach, you know. And then him handing you his tags. Reach has been good to me, you know. Like, oh, man. And I'm like, oh, man, that sucks. I'm so sad George died. And then you're going through, and it's like, okay, it's fine. The situation's still fine. We can still handle this. And then Cat dies. In such, like, I'll admit, now, when I play it through again, I laugh. because of just how sudden the death is. But the first time, I was just like, I was shocked because, like, what? Wait, no, we should have been safe. There shouldn't have been a problem like that. Like, what do you? No. and then it's like it gets to the point. Yeah, June leaves. What's up, Gore? We're doing pretty good. We're ranking the Halo games. June leaves, and you're like, okay, well, June's fine. June's gonna live. And then you're flying on the Pelican with Carter, and Emil comes to check on him, and he's got the blood in his eyes, and clearly very. You're like, no, Carter, no, is everyone gonna die? And like Carter, you're on your own, noble team. Carter out, and then he plows into the Scarab. Oh man, and then Emil dying to the and I the best moment in the Halo games is when it pops up and it says survive. This is, I think the last mission is why, one of the biggest reasons why Reach is my favorite. It pops up and says survive. No, Gore, there won't be time for game after. It pops up and says survive. And you're like, okay, survive. That's not that hard. It's a holdout section. And then the crack shows up in your visor. You're like, oh, this isn't a holdout. This is the end. It's so good. I love that game so much.
Of the characters.
And then it has the forklift, and that also makes it the best Halo game.
A quick perspective on each of the characters.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's go over June first. He's the only survivor.
Right.
He now trains all of the Spartan Fours.
Yes, I knew that. And are you going to bring up what she says, which each way characters die as part of their character? Because that's something I remember as well.
Well, it is, but it isn't. If that makes sense. They're strong. The strongest thing about them is what kills each one of them.
Yes. That's well, I can't remember with George. He's the heavy weapons guy.
He is the heart of that team.
Right.
He dies doing the noble sacrifice just for it to be in vain.
Kat dies as the recon specialist. She gets shot in the back of the head from a shot she never saw coming.
Yep.
Carter goes down with the ship.
Yep, the captain always goes down with the ship.
Mm-hmm. And Emil, the close quarters combat expert, gets killed in close quarters combat.
Yes. How does Noble 6 die?
Alone.
As he was in the beginning, he was in the end.
Oh, it's so good.
I will also like to say, another book that I suggest for you to read is The Fall of Reach, where it goes into more detail on each of the characters.
I would definitely be willing to listen to that.
And
audiobook.
It is more heartbreaking the way 6 dies.
Oh gosh.
Because Noble 6 holds the resistance on Reach pretty much single-handedly.
What's up, Cheese?
He leads a group of Marines that are left there and holds for over 6 months. By the way, that's after the first Halo game. By the way, that's after the second Halo game. By the way, that's going into Halo 3 before he is killed.
Cat's death happens because her shield fails and she is the tech expert. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's
due to the EMP of the
EMP.
shockwave.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, I guess June is like the sniper / recon expert. I mixed that up. That's my B. Which also makes sense. The recon guy is the only one that gets out alive.
Yep. But the book makes it you feel so much worse for Noble Six because it's like he's been fighting forever. Like the Halo series is already like almost over before he dies.
Jeez.
And that's the worst part because they could have sent help. And they never got the chance to because the Covenant showed up on Earth.
Yep. So Halo 4 is next in the little queue, but I'm going to pop it to the back. We'll start with Halo 2. Of the mainline games, it was my favorite.
Yep. So there's a part in this that a Halo follower likes to talk about that it broke his view of religion because of this game.
Oh, okay.
Because of the Arbiter story.
The Arbiter story is so good. I really enjoyed the Arbiter, and can I just say, the voice acting in Halo 2 specifically is so good. From is it the Prophet of Regret that's the last one living?
No, it's the Prophet of Truth.
Prophet of Truth. The the whole I will, burn a path into the divine beyond, that whole, like, oh man, that is so good. Arbiter, Master Chief, like Cortana, everyone is knocking it out of the park on their lines in this game.
Yeah.
And that's not to mention D. Bradley
The
Baker.
Great Mind.
D. Bradley Baker, the freaking voice of Appa and Momo from Avatar, voices Gravemind, who I'll also preface, I had never seen before playing Halo 2. I was not spoiled on what Gravemind looked like or was. When I saw him in the game, I was like, "Oh my gosh!" and he
has the best. He has probably the best speech out of any video game character.
I am a monument to all your sins. Oh, yep. It's so good.
That one monologue carries that entire game.
Oh my gosh. It's so great. I love it. And I mean, the interaction Master Chief and Arbiter have as well, that it just brings that whole cutscene. Like, Master Chief, like, careful, I don't want to piss this thing off. And Arbiter's, kill me or release me, parasite, but do not waste my time with talk. Like, I could gush about Halo 2. I really enjoyed Halo 2. And getting to play as the Arbiter was really cool, I will say.
You want to know something else that's super cool?
What?
That is the most rushed Halo game.
Yeah, I know. Because all of what happened in Halo 3 was supposed to carry on in Halo 2, right? It was all supposed to be in Halo 2. Yep.
It was supposed to be one game.
Which is why that one brute that I can't even remember his name, that's why he was the final boss, and it did kind of feel weird, because he didn't feel like a final boss, but I actually don't mind the cliffhanger.
Yeah.
I think it works.
It's by far the best mainline Halo game.
Yeah. And
it was rushed, and it wasn't even supposed to feature Master Chief.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was supposed to be only about the Arbiter.
That would have ruffled some feathers, but I think having the Arbiter involved was a great decision.
No joke, Microsoft said they will shut down Halo if it is only about the Arbiter.
Oh, jeez, that might have been a bit of an over-exaggeration.
No, they were like, Master Chief is our best-selling thing right now. Because this was when Microsoft had nothing, by the way.
That's true. They were in a bad way. But yeah. I don't know. There's just so much good. And I love the moment as well with that brute. Where Arbiter's like, the prophets will
We'll hear about this.
Yeah.
Who do you think sent me?
Yeah, or whatever. Yeah, and then he says fool. They ordered it. Like, great. To follow that up, Halo 3.
Yeah.
It's hard.
I'd put it in S.
I
would put it below Combat Evolved, though.
That's where I'm like, I'm not sure, because yes, Halo 3 was undoubtedly not as good as the other two, but at the same time, the moments, the story beats are so great. Like, the gameplay might not be as fun, the levels might not be as fun as the others, but gosh dang, when the Arbiter and Master Chief are teamed up after the death of the Prophet of Truth and Miranda Keyes, oh gosh, I love that moment so much. Story-wise, I think it's the best of the mainline 3, just because of the major beats and the climactic, what's been building through the last 2 games coming to a head. It really good, and the ending drive is perfect. Like, the vehicle missions, especially in 2, 1, and 3. Is there any in 2 that are like explicitly vehicle missions? What am I not remembering?
The second mission of the game, fighting in the city, because you do a whole vehicle section.
Yes, that's true. The vehicle sections in those games were so good.
The Arbiter had a vehicle section.
Yes. Okay. I am remembering now that we're talking about it. But I will say the mainline games did vehicle sections better than Reach. Like, Reach's tank, when you drove the tank in Reach, oh, that was so much fun. They did the tank perfect in Reach. But was it the Sparrow, when you're flying it around in space, sucks ass. I hate that section so much. That is the one knock on Reach.
I'm not prepared for doing that in Lasso. I'm going to cry.
I would too, dude. I did it on Heroic, and it still caused me problems.
It gets worse. Spencer, it gets worse, because that mission is not just the space mission, by the way. You have to restart from storming the beach.
Oh, gosh. Oh, yeah, because one of the skulls resets it. Oh.
Every death resets the entire mission.
Oh, I hate that. And that means, too, if you die on the ship, you're all the way back to the beach.
No, the ship is a different mission.
The ship is the next level. There is a space section at the beginning of that level, but it's not nearly as bad as the previous.
Correct.
Okay. But, yes, the mainline 3, definitely, the vehicle sections are top tier. And, you know what? Halo 3... I personally think I have to put it above Combat Evolve, and it's even bordering on S+ for me. Because the climax of the story, like...
I did not like how Halo 3 ended. Not the mission that it ends, but the ending where they pan and everyone's sitting there talking about who they lost, and the Arbiter's just standing there for some reason. And you see 117 scratched into it. I'm like, that's the dumbest thing ever. Who would have done that? I'm also prepared, and I have my quote pulled up, because we're running a little bit later than normal.
Shoot, I forgot about a quote. All right, last game. Halo 4? No, I'm just kidding. It's It's D tier.
B or C.
I
I
it
it had its good moments.
it had some decent moments, yes, but for the most part, it really did irritate me. I love the Mantis.
Yeah.
The Mantis is really cool. That was a great addition.
No joke, I hated the Mantis.
Really?
Yeah. Because it was made to replace the Scorpion, and I absolutely adore the Scorpion tank.
Well, they did have the tank in it, and the tank was still fun to use.
It is nowhere near comparable. It goes down in 2 shots. The Mantis takes 10.
Oh, that's true. But the tank, I can at least give credit to Bungie. They took the Halo Reach tank, which was probably the best iteration of the tank, and essentially just copy pasted it in the rest of the games.
Yeah.
Like in 4 and Infinite, the tank is exactly the same as Reach, and I have no problems with that.
That is completely fair. Also, Halo Reach's weapons, amazing. I want to go back to that.
Oh,
The weapons for Halo Reach, amazing.
I don't think
Even
there's
the new Covenant weapons, amazing.
I was gonna say, I don't think there's a bad gun in that game. There's ones that aren't as good or aren't as fun to use, but I don't think there's a bad one.
Other than the grenade launcher, no, nothing's bad about it.
Yeah, the grenade
But
launcher.
I was also the grenade launcher. Also, I was a child trying to understand geometry.
That's fair.
And because you need a degree in geometry to understand how that thing bounces.
I love the Needler rifle. The Needler rifle is a gun that I want to come back.
Yes. Also, my favorite gun out of all of them is the suppressed SMG. That just felt so right.
Yeah, the suppressed SMG was great.
It just felt so good, and I'm so upset that they have never brought it back.
Yeah, that.
Or the suppressed pistol. That felt so good. Even though it did less damage, I don't care. That felt so good that you could...
Right.
It just... I love that gun.
But you can go ahead with... Oh, the DMR was great. Oh, jeez. I loved the DMR. It's so good. I can't stop talking great about Reach. We can hide this now.
This is what I will say right now. The Bandit rifle in Halo Infinite is a mockery.
It's attempting to be the DMR. And
yes,
the scoped one... The scoped one is closer. I don't know why they have the one without the sights.
I want to be 100% honest of you. It is... They put it in the competitive ranked stuff, and it was the worst choice ever. You should have kept the battle rifle.
Yeah.
Because you need 3 shots to kill somebody with that DMR. You need 4 shots with the battle rifle. You're shooting 12 shots with the battle rifle, technically, because it's a burst gun. The DMR, you can just body head. And you win every fight. Or melee head. It's over. Doesn't matter. It's not even worth it. The old DMR was so much better.
Exactly. Definitely.
Okay, I got my quote ready. I actually went and found this quote and saved it because I knew we were going to be talking about Halo this week. And now that we're talking about other IPs, it's even better.
So, alright, well, I'll go first. Men are but flesh and blood. They knew their doom, but not the hour. From Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion.
Nice. That's a great one. Mine is, the pen isn't mightier than the sword. Pens don't win battles, and swords don't write poetry. Mine is the mind that knows when to pick up the pen and when to pick up the sword.
I love that quote.
Anonymous.
That's a really good quote.
That might be the only written thing I get tattooed on me.
That I actually sent you that quote. That
you did a while ago.
A long time ago.
I think I saved it. Yeah.
Like 5 or 6 years maybe.
Yeah, man. That quote to me is one of my favorite quotes ever.
That definitely. That's a really good quote. But I think that about does it. We didn't rank the multiplayer in the Halo games, but we can do that another time.
We can do that next week.
Yeah, since we'll probably once again be talking 5 minutes before the show about what we want to talk about.
That and I know somebody said they wanted us to do a smash or pass with the Pokemons.
they wanted smash or pass.
So we can do that before smash or pass, because that's going to be just a giggle fit between the two of us.
That's going to be so dumb, and it's going to be filled with so much judgment.
Oh, there's no judgment coming from me.
Oh boy. She says no, let's not do that. Maybe we should just do a separate video doing that, because that would literally take up.
That.
Dude, there's over 1,000 Pokemon now. That would take so much time. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, we might just.
We'll do it. We'll
you
do
free
it different.
tomorrow night?
No, I work.
Record it up and post. Oh yeah, that's right. Your week's off.
Yep.
And then the week after that, we're doing a duo stream. So.
Yep. We'll find a point. We'll find a time. But I'll judge you hard. Yeah, you know what, Cheese? I'll be judging myself the whole time. And the verdict is guilty. But that's all we got for this week.